Hi, I'm Rick Kaler. Thanks for joining me. Chances are you know someone who makes you wonder, why can't they manage their money better? They may be intelligent, educated, capable in many other areas of life, but they're unemployed, stuck, or struggling to take care of themselves financially. Research from the Center for Retirement, research at Boston College, offers an explanation to this. People who experience significant childhood adversity accumulate 25 to 45% less wealth by their 50s and 60s. That's a loss of $250,000 to $450,000 for every $1 million a person might have amassed. The report, How is Retirement Wealth Affected by Adverse Childhood Experiences, followed more than 12,000 people from adolescence through late career. Researchers identified 5 different types of adverse childhood experiences, or they call them ACEs. Parental separation, physical abuse, emotional neglect, household alcohol abuse, and household mental illness. About half of all respondents reported at least one of these. The consequences were incredibly striking. I was amazed when I read this. Child adversity is far from rare, and its financial impact lingers long into adulthood, even after controlling for factors including parental education, race, and income. The researchers found that those who experienced ACEs reached late career with 25 to 45% less wealth than those who didn't. Without adjustments, the gap widened to as much as 77%. Now, for anyone who works at the intersection of money and emotions, these findings aren't surprising. Money decisions are rooted in the emotional learning we carry out in childhood. The study quantifies, however, what financial therapists see every day. Unhealed childhood trauma quietly drives the way people save, spend, and relate to money. In an interview with the reporter who covered this study for Financial Planning magazine, I repeated what I've learned over decades as a financial planner and therapist, and that is, underneath almost very illogical or hurtful financial behavior, there's trauma. Sometimes that trauma is tied directly to money, like a child's savings taken by a parent, a family bankruptcy, or years of financial chaos. But other times, it's trauma unrelated directly to money that still finds its way into financial behavior. One of my clients, for example, began working at age 12 and couldn't understand why she never saved. In financial therapy, she remembered believing that if she had money left over, she wouldn't need to work. And working what got her out of the house. And it was an abusive home. She said, part of me has kept me broke my whole adult life. Within weeks of recognizing that, she began saving thousands of dollars every month. The protective money patterns formed in childhood, the parts of us that spend, save, or avoid money, are completely rational emotionally. They develop to help a child survive in a world where safety and control are kind of non-existent or very scarce. When we learn to meet those protective parts of us with compassion rather than shame, our behaviors begin to shift. It's pretty easy to judge people who reach retirement with fewer resources as careless or undisciplined. Yet many are carrying the emotional damage of early experiences that they never chose. Their financial challenges begin long before their first paycheck. This research supports my long-held view that therapy is an investment that can show measurable financial as well as emotional benefits. The sooner someone begins to heal their childhood wounds in financial therapy, the greater their wealth tends to grow. The healing restores the very capacity to make life-enhancing financial decisions, including the ability to build financial security. What the financial planning article calls the long shadow of childhood doesn't have to define your future. When we heal the emotional wounds beneath our money stories, we begin to make financial choices from clarity rather than from fear. And that shift is where lasting financial well-being begins. Thanks for joining me.